So I minded my business doing some research on Urban Institute because I have no life and this is what I do for fun. And they say what we already know, that the rise in housing costs and living costs are leaving many renters with little ability to save for a down payment. Pretty much, ish is so expensive that we can't even save for a down payment for a home, even if the price was right. It's the perfect storm for millennials to never be able to own. I won't say never, but to not be able to own a home anytime soon. You have the high prices, you have the high interest rates, cost of living going crazy. It's like they were all in a group chat.
Okay, serious question for millennials. How are you affording these mortgages? I live in New Jersey. I live in Essex County, which New Jersey as a state is the most populated state in the entire country. Essex County in New Jersey has the highest taxes in New Jersey, and I think actually in all of the country. I'm not sure about that, but you can fact check me. My husband and I are looking for a bigger house. The home we have now is 3 bedrooms, and we have 3 kids, and we are outgrowing our house. So when we bought the home in 2018, we always knew this was going to be a starter home, or that's what we thought. And we would buy another house as our family grows. Cut to 2025, and the housing prices where I live are out of control. You really cannot find a house for under $1 million, especially if it is a 4-bedroom. And these aren't mansions. These are small homes that are going at least 100,000, 200,000, 300, even 400,000 over ask. And I'm just curious to know, how are millennials affording these houses? My husband and I both work full-time, 6-figure salaries. And our current mortgage, which we bought our house in 2018, is 30% of our take-home pay. And with the mortgage rates now, the taxes of the houses that we are looking at and what they're going for, and we're not looking at $1 million houses, it is almost 80% of our take-home pay. And that is not feasible. Like, this is not happening. This is very scary. 30%, which we have now, is very feasible. So I'm like, do we just renovate our house? I personally don't necessarily care for the neighborhood that we are in, but I do love the town and the overall area of where we are, even though, yes, it is insanely expensive. Really love to know how much of a percentage of your mortgage or your rent is of your take-home pay. And what I really want to know is, how are these people affording $1 million houses?
Then there's a different end of the spectrum because you do have some people that manage to buy a home only to regret it after becoming house poor.
Hey, listen, normalize to not go buying a house and becoming house poor. Normalize buying a house and becoming house poor. It's not talked about enough. So many people are house poor. So many people are house poor. And when I say house poor, people can't even afford their mortgage. For real. People are getting $2,500 mortgages knowing that they can't afford that. Not only that, people are closing on homes with significant others. And as they're closing on a home with significant others, anything can happen to the significant other. Anything. And guess what? Now you are on your own with those bills. And those bills are extremely too high for you. So now the home is going into foreclosure because you can't afford the mortgage. Please normalize buying a home and being house poor. It's not talked about enough. It's not talked about enough. And it's crazy because I'm in a lot of Facebook groups and I see this a lot, what goes on. Some people are in upside down, flipped up situations because the house won't sell because it's too high. They bought it at a high price during a certain time and the house not even worth that for real. So now when they go to sell it, it's like, dang, they can't even sell the house. Because when COVID hit, these houses was going crazy. And that wasn't even the value of the house for real. You can't know. And now they try to sell the house. They can't because it's not going to sell. It's not worth it. So I just want y'all to normalize that. Yeah.
If I hear one more person ask why millennials aren't buying houses, let me tell you why millennials aren't buying houses. Because me and my fiance qualify to rent a house where the rent is $2,000 a month. We pay $2,000 a month consistently, on time, without fail. But a bank will tell us that we don't qualify to buy a house, that the mortgage is $1,500. And then a country that has trillions of dollars in debt will have the nerve to tell me that my credit score isn't good enough to buy said house. Not to mention that same house that our parents or grandparents paid $180,000 to $200,000 for, yeah, that's now a $400,000 to $500,000 house. And in a world where it's impossible to save money because we literally have to use every dime of every paycheck that we make currently in our current living situation just to survive, no one has $50,000 to put down on a house. So in a world where we would love to own a home with a $1,500 mortgage, we're forced to rent a house for $2,000 because, again, a bank's going to tell me I can't afford the $1,500 mortgage. Make it fucking make sense.
It's a real problem that's going on in America right now that ain't nobody really addressing. I was in Nashville, Tennessee this past weekend. So while I was there, I noticed that they got beautiful homes in Nashville, like beautiful homes. So I'm an inquisitive person. So when I see that, I'm like, I wonder how much these homes cost. So I see how much the homes cost. Everyone I looked up, at least $1 million, 1.2, 1.3. And mind you, these homes, they around 4,000 square feet, probably like 4 bedrooms at most. All right, so if a 4-bedroom costs 1.2, 1.3, whatever, let me see like a smaller home, how much it costs. So I saw this other house, and it was only like 2,000 square feet. And I'm gonna pull up a picture so y'all can see it. And when I looked up the house was $570,000, right? But that's not the trip. That's not what I'm tripping on, right? So it's 570, cool. It's 2024. So I'm like, let me see the price history. Like, how much was this house worth? How much did it sell for, like, within the last 10 years? So I looked it up. So that same house that's 570, in 2017, the house sold for $67,000. Yes, you heard me correctly. It went from $67,000 in 2017 to $570,000 in 2024. That's just a 7-year period. So I'm like, wait, hold up. This got to be some kind of anomaly, right? This can't be. This isn't normal. So I keep looking up houses that's in the same area as the house that I'm mentioning, and all of the houses around 2017, 2018, they were all around $100,000, and now they're all in the 550s and above. So I got to thinking, right? Because I'm like, this is something that's kind of going around like nationwide. This is not like just in one city or select cities. This is like happening everywhere. Because I remember when I was purchasing my home, I went to go look at a beautiful house out here in Dallas. It was like 4,500 square feet, and it was $850,000. And when I was talking to the realtor, I was like, just out of curiosity, how much did this house cost in 2020? And I remember when I asked him, he started laughing. He was like, you don't want to know that it's gonna mess up your whole day. So I'm like, no, just tell me. He was like, all right. He was like, so in 2020, this house was 470. So it went from 470 to 850 in a matter of 4 years, and this was in Dallas. So this is like a nationwide thing that's going on, but it makes me think, like, how the hell are younger people that's millennials, or especially Generation Z, how the hell are they ever going to be able to afford a home? And this is important because, as we know, most people's wealth and net worth is tied into real estate and tied into their home. You know, most people's biggest asset that they own is their home. So if this next generation, or millennials, Generation Z, they never have a home that they own, especially most people. I'm not talking about it. There's some people that's gonna be able to figure it out, but most people will never be able to build wealth because they'll never have access to home ownership. And I looked it up. The average home price in America right now is around $500,000, and the most common mortgage loan that people get is a fixed rate mortgage, right? A fixed rate mortgage, that's what like most of the country gets when they purchase a home. And the down payment for that is about 20%. So if the average home price is $500,000, right? And then the average down payment you gotta buy the average down payment is 20%. That means that the average person is going to need at least $100,000 in savings to put towards owning his home. But that's not it. Like, once you put down for the down payment, that's not all you got to pay. You still got to put money in escrow. You still got to do your inspection. You still got to pay closing costs. Like, all those things, it just doesn't stop at the down payment. So let's say with escrow, closing costs, and inspection, that's probably gonna be like another $15,000. Let's just say, to be safe on the general side, let's just say $15,000. So let's say on a $500,000 home, for the average mortgage, was what most Americans do, they're gonna need about $115,000 to put down to acquire this home. But the problem is, like, if you look up the statistics, they show like between 60 to 70% of people only have $1,000 or less in their bank account. So that makes you automatically think, especially as somebody like me, if it's gonna cost most people around $100,000 to get a $500,000 home, which is the average price of a home, but most people got $1,000 or less, how the hell are people gonna ever own homes?
This message is for the millennials, specifically the mid to late millennials. You guys fall in the neighborhood of late 20s to early 40s, especially if you're the ones that did everything your parents asked you to do, right? You went to college or you went to a trade school, and then you finally get your big boy or big girl job, right? And you start to get your coins up, and then boom, the economy goes to shit, and here we are. And you can't afford to buy a house. It's difficult to rent. Interest rates are sky high. Groceries are higher than ever. And so I just want you to know that the next time you hear someone in your family that's in my generation, I'm 60, discount the fact that it's harder for you than it was for us, I want you to show them this video, because I'm going to share a few statistics from when I was your age. So listen, I got my first apartment in 1986. It was $675 a month. It was a one bedroom. One bedrooms in California right now are going for somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,900 to $2,000. That's the average. It can get higher and it can get lower, but the average is somewhere around $2,000 a month for a one bedroom. Then in 1992, I bought my first house in Southern California for $178,000. The interest rate was like a 7.5%, and it was in a great neighborhood. At the time, I was making $21,000 a year, and I think my ex-husband might have been making somewhere around $30,000 a year at best. We had 2 cars. We had money to spare, money to save. There was plenty of money left over, and 2 kids. So what prompted me to do this video is I saw a creator this morning. He looked to be about my age, and he's going on this tangent. And he's saying, millennials, y'all just lazy, and we did this and we did that. It is not the same. It is apples and oranges, okay? So some of us do see you. We recognize that. I have kids that are millennials. My son is 35 and my daughter's 32. I know what you guys are facing, okay? I still encourage you, whatever little bit of money you have left, save it. I stick to that. But we also know that these are different times. And so for those of you in my generation, knock it off, because y'all know damn well these kids are not facing the same things that we faced in the 80s, all right? Love y'all, bye.
I appreciate Auntie letting us know that she see exactly what we're going through as millennials and Gen Z, because it's harder than it's been in a long time to purchase a house. Let me know what you guys think. Are you looking for a house right now? Are you not looking for a house? What do you think of the market right now? Do you think prices are going to come down soon? Do you think interest rates are going to come down? Let me know in the comments. Bye.